Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Stud and Dud presented by the Dallas School of Music. Thank you all for listening. I'm Josh Smith. With me each week, the doc, the man, Dr. Bob Lawrence. What's up, Doc?
Hey, man, I'm just enjoying a little dark chocolate right now.
You got the big bowl over there?
Yeah,
it's that time of the year, though.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, I'm loving it. It already feels that much cooler in here because it's a little cooler outside.
Isn't it nice? It's
Love
going to
it.
break. It's about ready to break. The weather.
Next week. Thursday, I think it is. Starting to break down to 83 is the high.
Great time of year.
It's the only thing about here is living that far in the south. People up north are like, you're finally getting 80, that's your high. I'm like, yes, finally, that's going to be our high, our lowest high in a long time.
My favorite month is right around the corner, man.
October. Love it.
And we all know what happens in October.
That's right. My birthday.
I
knew it. I knew where you were going, and I had to switch it up and make you laugh. My anniversary.
That's what I was thinking.
Avery's birthday.
Yeah, I was thinking. That's what happens.
Yeah.
Your birthday, Avery's birthday, your annivery, and playoff baseball.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the World Series, essentially.
Yeah.
I like I said, I know it goes into December, but I always liked when it ends. I love for Game 7 if it ended right at Halloween. Game 7 on Halloween. How cool would that be?
Oh, my God.
That'd be cool. Anyway, but yes, favorite time of the year is coming up. We're all happy about that. I think most people are. This is probably most people's majority. If they did they broke it down. What's your favorite season, winter or fall?
I think you're right.
I think fall's
I
going to be
think I would
most.
agree with that.
I think it's going to be the highest.
I think people love the fall, football, baseball, a lot of stuff. Holidays
Our basketball's about to start back up.
Right. You got the holidays, Thanksgiving.
Exactly. So temperatures are finally falling off, which everyone loves. It's in the 80s for most of the country, and which anyway. Right. Let's go to what's on tap today.
Yeah,
we're going to go off again in What's Up, Doc, as
course.
usual. We recap Week 4 of college football, Week 3 of the NFL, and fantasy football where someone's just pulling away slow and steady. Yeah, well, we're not going to talk about that yet. We're going to preview then the upcoming weeks. Mount Rushmores, we're going to talk about it. We're going to finish off the offensive side. I know you want to get the fullbacks and your centers for sure. We'll get to those one day. But with the class that definitely needs it, the wide receivers, the Mount Rushmore of wide receivers. And in our coveted Stud or Dud segment, we hit the high notes with AGT. But first, big game for you tonight. You previewed last week. It kind of teased me, unfortunately, but you kind of forgot about it. Well, I can't believe you forgot about it. Okay. But you were so startled with the new. You're going to see the Who. You thought you were going to the zoo.
Okay, now listen.
You were brushing your teeth.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway,
okay. So let's talk about this for a second. Have you checked out the news this morning?
What? No.
Have you not checked out the?
No.
Do a little search for the Who.
What happened?
Just do a little search.
Oh, great! This is going to be great.
Do a little search right now.
This is going to be great because you know
the
what I do every Friday
morning. The good Lord's taking care of us, man. Check it out.
The good Lord.
Come on.
Okay, it's coming. The Who stops concert after Roger loses voice during show. I think I should just quit while I'm ahead. Oh, wow.
So guess what's not happening tonight?
Probably the rest of the tour if he's feeling that way and not sounding so good. And that's the thing. And that's what I was like, I wonder how they're going to sound. So that's, man.
So the bottom line is, unfortunately.
He's 75.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Pete Townsend, lead guitarist from Matt. Oh, that's what I want to see. Pete Townsend cannot actually speak. Wow. Says Daltrey cannot actually speak now. So, well, we'll see. Yeah, I mean, of course, he had that high, because he has those high notes. That's what we're going to master those signature scream.
So, look, the bummer is we wouldn't be going anyway. So, yeah, check it out. Darren was so gracious last week. He got us 4 tickets to the Who in a suite, food, parking pass, and then I had to deliver the bad news to you.
Yes. Tuesday, whatever day it was. Yep.
I had to deliver bad news. Yeah. I knew I wasn't going over. I thought it might be the end of Stud and Dud. I thought this could be, bands break up over disputes.
Yeah, just stupid things too.
Right, or stupid things.
Yeah.
I said to Tam, I think Stud and Dud's over. She said, why is that? I said, well, I'm going to have to let Josh know I can't go to, well, here's what happened. I said, hey, Tam, you, me, Josh, Avery, we're going to go see the Who. It's going to be awesome. We got suites. We got tickets.
Yep.
We got parking pass. We got food. Darren took care of us. She goes, when is it? I said, next Friday. She goes, you can't go. I said, what do you mean I can't go? She goes, we bought Franzen tickets to the Yankees. He's a big Yankees fan.
Okay.
I don't know why. When 18 comes, I'm kicking him out of the house.
With all his maybe when he gets a little old. When did it start?
What?
The Yankees.
You mean when does the game?
When did he start you liking the Yankees?
A couple years ago.
See, my point being, I think that could maybe fade.
You think so?
How old is he?
12, 11.
Yeah, I once liked the Cowboys. Okay, I'm sorry, but I have to say that. I once liked the Florida State Seminoles for whatever reason.
You like the Florida State Seminoles?
Yeah, exactly.
Huh?
I'm like, those are cool jerseys. I'm young. Okay. I'm not. You get my point. Let him get to 15, 16. If he's still cheering for the Yankees, then it's done. He's a Yankee fan.
So anyway,
this is my point being the love is if it was like 5 or 6, I'd be like, it's over. He is a Yankees fan, but a couple of years, give him 5 more.
give him a little time. Okay.
Give him time.
So anyway, we bought him. He's a big Yankee fan. We bought 4 tickets for me and the boys to go to and it's the last series in the ballpark.
At Globe Life, and it's the Yankees of all time. It's the Yankees. It don't matter if you don't like the Yankees. It's the Yankees.
It's the Yankees are in town. It's the last series. Tonight is a huge.
And see, that's why I thought you were going. You didn't even tell me your kid liked the Yankees. I was like, wow, it's the Yankees. Okay, if it was like the Cleveland Indians or the Detroit Tigers, I'd have been like, dude, that's the worst. Doc, really?
No, yeah, right.
Come on.
No, but they got the big fireworks show after the game.
That's awesome.
With a huge video of all the highlights over the past 25 years.
It's going to be cool. It's going to be probably the most packed it's been all season, I'd imagine.
The Yankees pull a crowd, man.
It's the last, like you said,
it's the last series.
It's the last series there. And it's last season. So I didn't realize that this is the last series. This is it.
This is it.
Which we'll get into in a minute.
This is it.
MLB talk.
So he had his birthday a couple months ago. We surprised him with this package of 4 tickets, and we told him he can select anybody he wanted to select. He selected his 2 brothers to go with him.
Oh, that's so sweet.
It is nice. It really is, because I was thinking he was like.
So it's gonna be you and them
and my 3 boys.
Look at that.
Yeah. So Tam goes, we can't go to the Hoot.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. So me, Avery, and Tam go to the. That's what I was saying.
Yeah. And I said, I even said to her, I said,
but that would matter. But
I said, do you think he remembered that we got him tickets? And she goes, I can't even believe you just said that.
Yeah, I mean, like, man,
I said,
it was funny. I remember telling my dad, like, I text you on Sunday, and he was stoked. He was like, wow, you're going to go see the Who. He was actually impressed. I'm like, dude, I don't see any punks, Paul McCartney earlier this year.
Right.
About to go see Willie Joel. I love coming up with new names for him. Everyone's like, oh, okay, Billy Joel.
Willie Joel. Yeah, me and Willie, we go back.
Yeah.
So
I call him Willie, likes it, I don't know.
So anyway, man, so I said to Tam, I said, well, this could be the end of Stud and Dud, because I'm going to let him know that we can't go to the Who. I can't go.
Yeah.
So Darren said, well, he'd take care of us. He said he was going to give the tickets to some other friends. But here's the ironic thing.
This happens, and now those people can't go.
Now they can't go. They can't. Nobody's going.
Yeah, everyone got their heart broke this week.
Everybody's got their heart broken, except me and the boys are going to go to
Yeah.
We're not.
Yeah, that's true. Very true.
So we're heading out there. They have a half day today.
That's awesome.
All of them do. So check it out.
Beautiful.
After we do our show here,
oh, what a day!
We're gonna have lunch. We're gonna head out to the ballpark.
Now they have a real half day, or are you taking them out of school half day?
No, they got a real half day.
I was making sure.
And so then we're gonna head out to Arlington. We're gonna go to the ballpark. Check.
What time does the game start?
It's a night game. So we'll go out there mid-afternoon. We want to get there for batting practice, warm-ups.
Yeah, that's the cool thing.
He wants to get down there, try to get some
yeah.
Yankees autographs. Of course, Jose Trevino, the catcher for the Rangers now, is Gardner's catching coach.
Oh, okay.
And so we'll go get to see Jose. And so it's going to be a great day.
There you go, man.
It's going to be a great afternoon.
So big game for you tonight?
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Speaking of baseball, let's get into it. Some MLB talk. The standings. I mean, first off, the A's coming along strong here at the end, which is great.
They always do.
Yeah, the Houston could have went with them. They're leading the league, 105 wins. I'm like, wow.
They're better than 2017.
You think so?
Yes, I do.
Well, here's
a
what
lot
I'm getting
better
into
rotation.
Yeah,
too.
let me, if I could finally get into my wild card standings here. But yeah, so Yankees right behind them.
Yankees are good.
Your evil empire. They have 102
I hate
wins.
to admit it,
Yeah.
but they're good.
Anyway, and then Minnesota and right behind them, they're going to have 3 teams with 100 wins.
Yeah, but they'll be gone after the first series because they play the Astros.
Oh, done.
They're done.
Yep, true. That's the one. That is the one thing. It seems like you see that a lot more in baseball, where it seems like football, even basketball, when you get down to those 14, you're like, oh, anyone can really win this.
But it's right. I shouldn't say that.
Yeah.
The Twins. I mean, I remember when.
They put up. I mean, that thing we'll get to in a minute. Which I'm talking about terrible hitting. They have put up 300 home runs this year.
They play the games for a reason, right?
Yeah, they do.
They
can bomb it. 300 home runs. Like,
remember
are you
when
kidding
the
me?
Mariners won like 109 games in a season?
Yeah.
Right, and first series bowed out.
Yeah, exactly. That happened a couple times with the Mariners.
I mean, right? So you never
all the way back to Griffey, because Griffey and them did it.
Correct.
I mean, that's what I'm like. They were.
Right.
I was like, this is it. They got Johnson as their number 1. They got Griffey, Edgar Martinez. Who's the first baseman they had? But yeah, they had so many.
And they bow out in the first round.
Yep.
So you never know. I shouldn't say that. So any Twins fans,
A-Rod, I forgot. They not even Edgar Martinez. They had A-Rod too. They had A-Rod.
Correct.
I mean, that team was loaded. Jay Buhner was the first baseman. I mean, they had.
They were loaded.
They were loaded.
Loaded.
The coach. Pinella. Lou Pinella. I mean, are you kidding me?
Mr. Hothead. They had it all going, man.
Man. Oh, I was hoping that would have been. I'd probably still be my team if they would have won a championship. And after that, I was like.
Because they do have cool unis.
Oh, I loved them. I had those hats, those colors. The dark
I love
blue.
their colors.
Love it. So anyway, but pulling up right there at the end, Tampa Bay's doing great at the end. Looks like it's gonna be Tampa Bay, Oakland in the wild card matchup. Cleveland though, right behind them. So that's not sewn up yet. Cleveland's right there, 2 games. Well, it is 2 games back now. Let me refresh this and see, because we do have. I think that is refreshed, but yeah. So Oakland, a full game now ahead of Tampa Bay at 96 and 63. Tampa Bay, the Rays at 95 and 64. No one's clinched yet. None of these teams have. That's what's crazy. It comes down to this weekend for those teams.
And you know what's really crazy? How many 90-plus game winners are going to be sitting at home? They don't even go to the playoffs.
Exactly.
Amazing.
Yep, some good baseball being played. And here's what's crazy. Well, just speaking of which, not crazy, but we're speaking of Seattle. That's where the A's play this weekend. A's are at Seattle, so that's where they finish this season. And Seattle not so great this year, 66 and 93. So they should be at least get 2 of the 3 and secure their wild card spot.
I would think so.
Tampa Bay is at Toronto. So a little bit tougher matchup there. Toronto, well, I should say about the same. I forgot Toronto isn't that good this year, 65 and 94. So it's about the same matchup for both of them. And then it's Cleveland which is funny. This is where Cleveland now has to act, and Washington. Because Washington's now, we'll get to the National League in a minute. You have sewn up, because I'm A's, you're Nationals for it all, which is, hey, at least both our teams are in it. Both our teams looking like they're going to yours is for sure going to postseason. Mine's most likely going to wrap it up this weekend.
Mine's going to the postseason with possibly the best rotation in baseball.
It very, very well could be. And that's my point. Guess who Cleveland plays this weekend trying to get into the playoffs? They got to go, two, right? I think it's 2, to Washington and play the Nationals in D.C. Yeah. So that's how they have to end the season. So that's when Oakland's in. A's, if they are in that middle spot, but the fact that they're a full game ahead of Tampa Bay, I think they've locked it up. On the other side, the Dodgers, 103 wins themselves. So once again, boy, I'd love to see the Dodgers Stros.
Wouldn't you like to see that?
I'd love to see it again, just to continue that battle. But this time, honestly, the Dodgers to come through.
Yeah, if the Dodgers,
because I feel bad for them to be the Bills. They would then be the Bills.
I don't want them to become,
we've spoke of this before. Even though they have a way better pass than the Bills. Because the Dodgers have a great history past. They've won in the past.
They've won.
But the Bills didn't. But they would be the new age Bills. I mean, for sure, unfortunately.
Correct. Right?
I mean, you go to 4 straight and lose. That face of yours. Oh, that's so bad. But yes.
That hurts, right?
I can't believe how good Atlanta's done this year. We'll move past the Dodgers. Dodgers are always good.
Atlanta's good.
I couldn't believe it. That's why.
They got great young squad.
In the last couple of years, you've really seen what has pretty much now produced.
Yeah, baseball's alive and well, man. There are
I really like it.
Great teams in baseball,
as usual.
And unfortunately, great teams that are going to be sitting at home.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, there are a lot of 80-win teams. I mean, the Cubs, the Mets, the Diamondbacks, all 80+ wins on.
That's how close it is, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. See? But already locked up. Washington and Milwaukee in the wild card. So those two playing each other. And then who is it?
Yeah, and I love both those teams, and it's unfortunate one's going to go home.
Yep. Cubs play at
Cubs are out.
And here's the thing. We don't know who's going to be. Yeah, the Cubs are out. We don't know because it's locked up the teams who are getting in, but we don't know who's going to be the wild card. Dodgers and Atlanta have locked up. They're moving on. But St. Louis, Washington, and Milwaukee are all within a game of each other. So once again, it's like on the AL, just like in the AL.
Yep.
It comes down to this weekend and who gets the final spots.
Yep.
So we'll see. And then this weekend it's your Cubbies. They play St. Louis, so we'll see how St. Louis fares. And Milwaukee goes to Colorado. And of course, I've already spoke. Your Nationals get to play Cleveland, so they've got a pretty tough weekend themselves as well, honestly. But they've locked up. They've locked a spot up, but it just depends on where they fall to.
Now, do you watch playoff baseball?
That's my favorite. That's all when I finally start watching is now.
Okay.
Is it still on? Here's my point. I remember when I think it was pretty sure it's TBS or TNT. May have been TBS. I could have swore it's TBS. The wild card games back in the night. It may have been maybe. I know it eventually moved to Fox, and it seems like it is Fox now. Right. But I just remember coming home from school and a wild card game was on. I'm like, this is too cool.
Well, you know what's going to be on here, right?
That's what I'm wanting. You see what I'm saying?
I'm just gonna have baseball on.
Yeah, so that's what I love. That's when I get into it. I'm like, that's you get my point. So yeah, and most people are like that too when it comes to baseball.
They are. If you're not an avid baseball fan, you usually don't tune into the playoffs.
Yeah, and even sometimes probably
not to the World Series.
Exactly, or maybe the ALC.
Yeah. Right.
The semifinals, essentially.
Man, isn't it great, man? Because it comes down to every pitch. And and the cameras show the crowd, and they're all people
especially
praying.
When it's up north and they're all cold. They're in their jackets and they're cold.
And the intensity, every pitch is like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. I love it.
It's like awesome. Man.
Good stuff. All right, let's get into the batting now. Don't tell me it's great. It is good pitching, but to me it's worse batting. The terrible batting ever since 2008. The MLB has set a record for strikeouts year after year. Are you kidding me? That is nuts. And here's my point.
Yes, it's horrible.
It's and the speak to why it's batting. The 3-pitch strikeout is going to be another record broken, as in the 3-pitch strikeout record, as in there's been over 7,000 3-pitch strikeouts this season. 3 pitches and you're out.
Well,
That's how fast you're going away now.
You want to know okay, so
and here's my point. And here's another one. The streak began in 2008. Before that, the record wasn't broken again. It was 2001, and it was only 32,000. And now we're getting up to the 41,000 mark. Anyway, what were we gonna say?
Well, have you surmised what the problem is? What do you think it is? Why do you think that is?
Well, I just put what it might put, but it seems like and kids are a lot less worried about making sure they get a good swing down and hitting, getting base hits and singles and getting a good great average, and they're going for long ball. They're going for home run after home run.
That is correct.
And what I remember seeing forever, because I was a basketball guy more so before I really switched to football and golf. But even point being, that was back in the 90s, early 2000s when I was really into basketball. And I just remember kids flocking to the 3-point line. Even when I was like 10, so in the 94, 95, 96, kids, they get the ball, they go straight to the 3-point line, and they're just jacking it up. I'm like, that's not how you get good. You start from you get back there once you've gotten layups.
You work right.
Then little short game. Then you go to the free throw line. You master that. Once you've mastered that, then you can get out there to the 3-point line.
Yeah. Well, that's because the pure hitters, you're right. The pure hitters do not exist anymore in the game. Very few.
Very few.
Very few pure hitters. Everybody's going for this launch angle, which is a bunch of. That's another topic. We'll have Rudy back for that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah,
right.
We should talk about this because obviously I want to keep it baseball related. Sometime this month, try to get him on, get Steve on, so we can talk.
Yeah, right.
Talk about
we
this.
need to bring Steve back in.
Yeah.
The launch angle thing has, and hitting for the home run, the long ball. That's why there's so many strikeouts.
Yeah.
It's like bunting, the art of bunting, small ball.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, exactly. Small ball.
It's the guys can't bunt.
Yeah.
They're not even taught to bunt.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's almost like going back to the basics of, I'm sure, how many practices in basketball, and they should start every practice with layups.
Yeah,
I remember we lined up on each side. You did the layup thing.
Right,
you did right-handed layups, and the left side got the rebound and passed it back to them. Then they did left-handed layups, and then went.
Well, see, that's a good example. How could you be a basketball player and not know how to do a layup?
Yeah.
How can you play baseball and not know how to bunt?
Like,
come on, are you kidding me? So the game the pendulum it will slide, it will swing back.
Yeah, and it seems like it's going back. I mean, I hate that
it will swing back because I think younger players are starting to figure out, man, they got to be hitters.
Yeah,
you got to hit, man.
I think the passion and the love for the game is now back. I don't have to worry. We're now past the late 90s, what we've talked about before, but now they need to get that passion back of the desire for the game and the hitting.
Yeah.
Like the long ball. I mean, that's not what gets you wins.
Correct. And
batting averages get you wins.
That's correct. And,
on base percentage.
Like Rudy says, I love this when you watch him coach. He always tells whoever he's working with, home runs are accidents.
I'm sure, and I would say not all, almost 70% of them probably literally are. It's like when you first start playing golf and you finally hit it pure, and it doesn't even feel like you hit the. Remember, because I remember when I first started, you're swinging so hard, and they're like, just barely. Let the club do the work, and you'd finally just swing pure. It hit right in the middle, and it didn't even feel like you even hit the ball, and it just.
Yeah, I think
it's like that. You're like, whoa, that's out of here.
Right. I think great. Home run hitters don't even try to be home run hitters.
Yeah. Like you say, they're just
you trying
got
to
good contact. Like my point being a prime example because most of his weren't launchers. Ken Griffey Jr.
Just right.
Most of his home runs were like you'd see highlights. They were just probably 15, 20 feet over. They were great hits, but they were just so pure. He was like, "Well, I got that one good." I mean, and then just over the fence.
I remember it was maybe 2 years ago at the All-Star game. Jessica Mendoza was interviewing out on the field Francisco Lindor from the Cleveland Indians, and she said he at that point at the All-Star break he led the league in home runs, right? And she goes, "How come you're not in the home run derby?" And he goes, "Because I'm not a home run hitter."
Yeah, I remember you saying this before,
right?
Where we've talked about whatever we were talking about,
right? And I just was so impressed by that. He goes, "I'm a line drive hitter." Yeah. And some of them happen to go over the fence. Yeah. That's Rudy's whole thing, right? Home runs are accidents. Yep. But we've lost that in the game right now, and I think it will come back.
Yeah. Regardless, the game is certainly seeming better. I mean, I know the strikeouts kind of seem obvious, but to me, regardless, the game's great. Honestly, it's really good.
It's exciting to watch.
It's definitely exciting to watch, which is good, and I'm looking forward to October for sure. All right, you ready? Let's kind of switch the gear. What's up, Doc?
Oh man,
what do you got this week?
Well, a couple different things. You had just sent me let's start with you just sent me a little note before the show started about Some kid.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know. I was like, I'm sure he's going to see this.
Because this is going to go on. This is going to go under the umbrella. We're going to do another public service announcement today.
Right.
And this umbrella is called social media.
Okay.
All right. So tell me the
So
detail.
11-year-old boy took his brother's car and drove. Met some guy on Snapchat first off, one of those social media apps where you, and Snapchat's even like. Most of these other ones you can see who the person is. Snapchat, you really don't know who the person is. It's just a fake face or like it's an emoji type face, and you're just talking to someone. I mean, you can send pictures, but you're not building a profile, my point being.
Right.
So he meets someone on Snapchat, takes his brother's car in South Carolina, drives 200 miles, and luckily in the middle of the night, by the time he gets there, somehow no one realizes that he took the car. I guess he's passed out. I don't know. Anyway, he drives into town, Charleston, a cop, like, movie moment. Literally, it's a funny movie moment. Literally, one of the funny ones where someone looks over, sees 11, obviously, he's like, no one's in the car but just him. And he's like, this is like 1 in the morning.
What's this kid doing driving?
Pulls him over and said, literally, honest as can be, hey, officer, I'm lost. Met someone on Snapchat. I've driven, like, for the last, 3 hours. I'm trying to find him here in Charleston.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Yeah, I'm sure he was just like,
Yep, right.
And to live with him. Not to meet him or, hey, what's up? To go live with him at 11.
Or die with him.
Well, exactly. Be kidnapped. So anyway, that's what happened. So your PSA would be what?
Can we get smart?
I mean.
Well, look, social media, has it gotten out of control?
Big time.
It's gotten out of control, right? Even this story that I was going to bring up, the gentleman in Des Moines, Iowa, beer money. You know that story?
I haven't seen it, no.
You haven't seen that story?
What is it? No.
He posted something, send beer money.
Gotcha.
Right? And it went viral, and people started sending beer money to him.
Yeah.
Well, he raised like over $1 million that he gave to the Children's Hospital there at the University of Iowa.
Wow.
And Anheuser-Busch got on board.
Yeah.
Backing him. They were going to make a big deal out of this.
Yeah.
Man, here's a kid, college kid, doing something phenomenal.
Exactly, yeah.
Right? And taking these funds and actually turning it in, donating it to the Iowa, I think the University of Iowa Hospital Children Ward, you know.
Yeah.
And I guess a reporter for the Des Moines Tribune found some comments that he made back in high school on social media that were racist. And so now Anheuser-Busch backs out. And the kid apologized, said, man, I was back in high. He goes, I'm not proud of that, But the irony is, the reporter for the Des Moines Register, they found racist comments on his social media. Now he's fired from the Des Moines Tribune.
I'm so sick of people going back. I mean, imagine that. How painstaking that's going to be to be like, you know what? And why you've got to bring people down. So the point being, he's doing something great. You now got to go back. How many? You've got to scroll and scroll and scroll. Now, unless he didn't do that, some other jackass, and I'm sorry, they are jackasses, like, hey, I know him, I don't like him. He posted this back in and I've just been waiting to send this to somebody. Here's what he said. Jackasses of the world. He's doing one of the greatest things that anyone around that area has done for at least this week or month, for sure, which is a great thing. And maybe the greatest thing that year that happened to that probably hospital for sure. Or maybe years since they've gotten something like that going on.
Yeah,
and you want to bring someone down by that?
If you're, here's my thing. If you're dealing with an adult, and I have to go back, if I have to go back to your high school days to find something that was questionable that you did, you know what I say to you?
Yeah.
Good for you, man.
Yeah.
You've grown up. Good for you.
Yeah.
Right? If somebody's a jerk, you don't have to go back to high school to find a problem.
Yeah. Oh, well,
right? You go back to yesterday.
Yeah.
Right? So I mean, it's crazy that we've gotten to the point where everybody uses social media for awful things.
Yeah.
Like with this guy enticing this kid to get in a car and come see him, which is terrible.
Yeah.
And then we're using it now as a weapon.
Yeah, that too.
To destroy one another.
Yeah.
Right? To go back and find something that, I thank God I grew up in a time. None of my high school days have been recorded, videotaped, or a camera.
Yeah. I mean, the people that have done great stuff for the world, like Bill Gates of the world. Let me imagine, not that but my point, all these other people that have probably, who knows what they may have done back in the day just for fun or out of,
but it's not
or because they were in high school and this wasn't fully processed or developed yet. Hello, a lot of people made some mistakes in high school.
Who hasn't?
So
who hasn't?
So you're right. It's sad. I mean, there's so many good out of it. But here's the thing, and we'll end it with this PSA. Like Herm Edwards always says, my man Herm, and he made it famous. Always think before you press send.
You gotta always think. Just that's I tell.
Because then it's out there to the world. It's done. It's over with. You can delete a lot of it. A lot of this stuff, unless it's out there too long and people are screenshotting it. But otherwise, you get my point. As soon as you press send, though, regardless, it is now gone. It's done. It's over with. It's out there.
And you know what? Let's even go a step further than that. Think before you even speak.
Oh yeah, for
Just
sure.
How about that? Right? These are like little life rules that we grew up with, right? My mom and dad used to always say, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all.
Yeah,
right?
I
Just
heard that so much from my mom.
Right?
Yep.
Don't even say anything. Keep your mouth shut. Just right.
Main thing is just use your head. I wish
use
people
your head.
would. Use your head more. Just use the head. Think.
Oh my goodness gracious!
Maybe you should think a little more and stop doing that.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Let's-
So yeah, the old Confucius saying, better to be thought a fool, right, than to open your mouth and remove all doubt.
See, I don't remember that one.
Right.
There you go.
So just think.
Well, we can only pray and hope we get there. But it looks like it's just only good and worse.
Oh my gosh, it's gotten out of control. Social media's out of control.
Let's go back to last week. Let's do some little recap and preview. Got to. NCAA week 4. You called it last week, Doc. USC gets a big upset win. Number 10 Utah called them a little bit overrated. Saw it, and they won. It was a good game last week. And I would say there was another one. It was Boise State, but I wasn't too worried about that. Air Force. We'll get into Air Force in a minute because they have 2. Do they really? I'm pretty sure Air Force has 2 Friday night matchups in a row. Last week they played Boise State and lost. So let's see if they don't have another one this week, and I'll tell you why they may have another one this week. A little teaser right there. All right, more games. The ones on Saturday. It was a heartbreaker, I'm sure, for you. Your face is still somber from like the last segment, and you knew it was only coming up in this segment. But it's okay. You played a great game.
Well, look.
Notre Dame, Georgia, who we're talking about.
Oh, it's a fantastic game. And Notre Dame really actually did not lose. In the fact that, look, you go into Georgia, let's see if other teams only lose by 6 points to Georgia at Georgia, right? They went toe to toe with them the entire game. It was a great game. I thought Georgia played a great game. I thought Notre Dame played a great game. And as the coach for Georgia said after the game, it's unfortunate somebody loses a game like that.
Yeah.
Because both those teams are just battling.
Oh yeah.
Battling back and forth. It was
two great head coaches.
Yes, it was a great game, and I'm anxious to see how Notre Dame responds this weekend.
Yeah, because we got to get another tough one this week. It doesn't get any easier.
It does not get any easier.
A little easier, I guess, because it was at Georgia. And this week it's home, but yeah, I mean.
But
oof.
I don't like the phrase moral victory. I don't like that. But Notre Dame should feel very good about where they are as a program. They're very much relevant, and they are one of the elite teams in college football.
No certainly. So that's why they only dropped 3 spots to 10. They went from 7 to 10.
They are one of the elite teams.
Definitely. Number 11, I should say before that, the other big game in the SEC, number 8 Auburn pulls out a good nice win at number 17 A&M that stuck around a little bit longer than I thought they would. 28-20. That was a pretty good game. Ended up being a little bit closer.
Yeah.
A&M kind of pulled close there at the end, but couldn't get it done. Michigan continues.
I was just going to say, man, I am concerned about Michigan. What's going on there?
Streak and cannot. I knew that was going to happen. They weren't going to win at Madison. Now that I knew it was looking as bad as they did, though. What was it? 35 to 14. They got slobber knocked pretty much. And the fact that if it was close, I'd have been okay with it. Like, okay, they're still fine. They're going to be okay. I mean, they go on there and take a whacking. I mean, yeah, they took away. So once again, continues the streak of not winning in Madison.
Bo Schembechler's got to be going like, come on.
I know.
Come on, man. I taught you better than that. Come on, man.
Another big upset last week. Not big, but decent. And we talked about it, and you said watch out for them. SMU upsets TCU. Number 25.
Told you, SMU's a good team.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it was a high-scoring game.
I am so happy for SMU. I am absolutely so happy for
41-38, which I figured would be high-scoring. But
they kind of got hosed in that whole NCAA death penalty thing. Pretty severe, man.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah.
And for
I
them,
wouldn't say hosed, but
they did.
I mean, you need something. You need to start. You got to set a precedent. You got to start. Here's what's going to happen. You want to be this big of cheaters, we're going to lay it down.
Yeah, but man, death penalty.
I know. That's what
they haven't given one out since. And there's been just as big as cheaters.
Probably so. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So
I mean,
right? I mean, come
I
on.
don't know.
I
have
think
to go
somebody
back
got a
and look
little.
at the level. But
I think somebody got a little overzealous there.
I think that is what it was. But I liked there for a while when they set the precedent. It really did. College football kind of got honest for a while. It seemed like into the 2000s.
Right.
And now it kind of seems like there for a while it kind of took a little.
You're right.
And now we don't know. I mean, now we think. I mean, I'm sure a lot of kids, they're athletes, and let's be honest, there are boosters probably paying athletes here and there. We're never going to find out, and that's always been going on. But more than that, I don't know.
What's your take on the college athlete being paid?
Always been against that. They're already getting paid. How much does it cost to go to school? You know you're getting that for free with all the food. You know how much that costs a normal kid like me that didn't get a scholarship at all? Now you're getting a free ride. So that's money in your pocket. No, by the way, they do get like I forgot what they're called. Anyway, they do get money in their pocket.
Not only
it's
that,
not much, but they get money.
They
get
got
spending
special
money.
tutoring and help for academics.
They get free A's. They get free B's, essentially. They get boosters if you're badass enough. They give you, and then so here's my other point, too, if you want to pay all athletes. Okay, so you're going to pay the third-string offensive lineman that never see the light of day the same thing as you're paying Cam Newton, your starting quarterback for the Auburn Tigers? How are you going to do that? How are you gonna make? Then you're gonna so now we're gonna pay the gymnast at that school. Are we gonna pay the women's golf team at that school? Are you paying? And then how much are they getting paid? You're gonna try to equalize it to and then here's my point. Then imagine programs like UConn. UConn's basketball women's program so they should get paid how much? They're gonna be like, okay, since we're the one that brings in the money, we should be getting paid more than these football players. The UConn football program, correct? Because imagine the UConn football program, the guys that are going to school for the UConn football team getting paid whatever, but the women's basketball program that just brings in ship after ship after ship is getting paid how much? And I'm sorry, but that's especially because they are bringing in the money, because once again that's where it is justified. Back where we talked about this months ago with the women's soccer, I'm like, sorry, women's soccer, and it shows or LPGA and the LPGA is never really bitching. I'm sorry, it's this women's soccer team that was doing the complaining. I understand you're winning, but to UConn's basketball, who's buying all the UConn? They're buying that stuff. I know you get my blah, 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 but the sponsorships where it really comes back to, and that's what I'm saying. Anyway, I'm not going to explain all that, but my point being back to you're going to pay athletes. How are you going to pay the UConn women to the football team? How are you going to pay when Tennessee's women's basketball team was doing good to the men's football team that's not so hot now? So you see what I'm saying? How are you going to figure out who pays what? You're not paying them. That's just done and over with. They're not going to pay them. If they do, I'm done with NCAA and college sports.
Well, yeah, and it would be, I think, maybe the end of college sports.
And they should, like you said, then just go to a minor
leagues. Forget
system.
It. Turn the academic institutions back to being academic.
Because like you said, that's what it is, right? We're going to school here.
Right, exactly.
Anyway, so don't know. Totally against it. Can't stand it. Can't stand it a bit when they bring that up.
Yeah. Well, California, voting on it or whatever, or
it's not going to happen. If it does happen, like I said, it's going to be an end to college sports as we see
it
because
will
there's no way they're going to be able to justify it.
Regardless of what LeBron James says.
Yeah. But yeah, there's.
You want to say, LeBron, you didn't go to college.
Yeah, right.
Just zip it.
It's just goofy because, like I said, how are you going to justify it for the programs where, like I said, the women's athletics are just and where they do have football teams, like UConn's of the world, or where there's multiple other teams. Anyway, I'm like, how are you gonna justify that? How are you going to pay them equally? And how are you going to figure? That's so many schools too, Doc. I mean, and they got to. Anyway, not even going to get into that. That's just the dumbest thing.
It's a can of worms that should never be opened.
Exactly. Why now? They weren't complaining about it. And if you think you're that good,
work
your butt off for 2 or 3 years and go pro. That's where they pay you.
Yeah, right. Go pro.
That's where they pay you.
Right. That's professional.
How many other of those, and here's another thing I'd say, how many of these other kids in college are getting paid to be here right now that are eventually these, that guy right there that's taking philosophy, he's going to probably be talking to you about all those brain injuries you got one day. Oh, that guy right there, he's going to be your surgeon when you have to have a knee surgery. Oh, and he's also going to do some heart surgeries as well. He's saving lives.
Oh, that musician, you're going to be wanting to buy his CDs.
Yeah, and I'm like, and how much money they're going to be, get my point. They're eventually going to be making close to the money you get my point. And these guys, here's a lot of these things too. So you're going to pay kids in high school, or I should say college, the third string tackle. You're going to pay the third string tackle as much as you're paying the quarterback. But then this third string tackle, he ain't never going to the NFL. Why are you paying him now? Why are we paying these kids? Why are we paying the backups to sit on the bench and on the guy that never sees?
He will never be on the Mount Rushmore of tackles.
Oh, yeah.
Ever.
Anyway, let's just move past that. It is just the dumbest thing. Because I'm like, how are you paying some kid in college that's going to be a third stringer, and then he's not even going pro in this sport? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or the backup that sits on the bench for the Hogs this year that will never see the light of day, but you're going to pay him because he's just on the team? But these doctors and all these people that are actually supporting you and paying, which are the fan, the student too, because we're the one that bought the student tickets. Oh, we're not wearing Michigan shirts. We're wearing Hog shirts here, people. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
So don't. That is a.
I should never brought that up, man.
That wasted 10 minutes of my God. You get my point.
Yes.
Not wasted, but yeah, I'm like, of the show anyway. But yeah, so I hate it. I think it's the dumbest thing ever. Could never make it fair. Let's get back to it. If we can. And I guess you feel the same as me, right? Right.
But paying college athletes?
Yeah.
Are you out of your mind?
I'm like, it's just no way to ever justify
I think that should be the shortest
goofy
conversation in the world.
Yeah, just
the answer is no.
Work your butt off. Like, anyway, not even going to. Arkansas last week. Did you see this?
Yeah.
San Jose State.
Yeah, what's going on there, man?
San Jose State, real quick. Let me just tell you about this.
They're a pretty good program, aren't they?
Lost. I should say last year. Their record last year was 1-11. So they lost 11 games last year. 1-11. And also they broke the record Arkansas did with this literally all-time record. The biggest payout for a loss. When you have these schools come to you, you have to, there's payouts for, when you go to these schools. You pay them out to come visit you. It's pretty much like a payout for a win. Like, hey, come play us. We need a win. We lost and paid them $1.5 million. Broke the record that was set earlier this year at like right over $1 million. The thing was we shattered it.
So they came into Fayetteville.
At 1-11 from last year.
Beat you guys.
Hadn't beat a Power 5 team, so SEC since 2002.
So they come in, they beat you, and they walk out with $1.5 million.
Yeah.
Coach,
Pretty good.
Coach got on the airplane and said, that was a good day's work, boys.
That was a great day right there. My gosh. And I literally this week, and I knew it was, I was looking up Chad Moore stuff, and I just ran across this one thing. Coach is on the hot seat, and he's number 3. So, you gotta be. He's never beaten a Power 5 school. He's never beaten a Power 5.
I told you, man.
Since he's been at SMU, he, as a head coach, has never beaten a Power 5 school. Because we haven't won an SEC game.
When's Arkansas going to just stop messing around and go get Nick Saban?
Well,
come on now.
Just like we need to get Krzyzewski in basketball, when you get Saban, man, Arkansas would be loaded. There you go. There's the plan.
Come on, we
have the money. We can come up with
it. Do
it.
Jerry's up. Jerry, go to Jerry. Come on.
Krzyzewski for just get it for like when they're about to retire. Like, hey,
right.
you tell they're both about to go out.
Let's get
Krzyzewski. We'll get Saban. We'll go win one in each of the same year, and then we
look at if Jerry was serious about turning Arkansas around. The Walton family and Jerry Jones could turn that sports program around.
Dude, I'm telling you. And not pay any of the athletes.
Well, not even
athletes, or students. Not pay any of the students.
Not pay any of the students. There you go. If you're a student, you don't get paid.
Anyway, speaking of San Jose State, and I was right. Yeah, Air Force has back-to-back Friday night games. How crazy is that? They're in high school Air Force over there. Last week they played Boise State. Now this week they're like, are we the Friday night high school team? You just throw us to the wolves. Thanks NCAA.
That's kind of funny.
So this week they play San Jose State.
Oh my.
That's why I was like, because I saw Air Force. Because that's why when I saw Air Force last week, or I was going through last week, I was like, hold on.
Are they playing them at Air Force?
It's at Air Force.
So they have a chance of making them another $1.5 million.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I don't think Air Force has. I think Air Force might be paying them maybe a $500. I don't think they're paying them 1.5. They're not an SEC school.
Oh, okay.
They racked up a $500,000. That's $2 million a week.
That's a good road trip.
It's great for the school. They're gonna be like, yay, $2 million for the university in 1 week. I don't think it goes to the athletic program or where that goes to, but man, that is sweet. That's a lot of money.
Oh, yes, it is.
Okay, but that's great. That's 2 weeks in a row. And the good one tonight, we got 2 actually ranked teams playing again. Penn State's on the road at Maryland. Arizona State. We'll see if Herm Edwards going to upset this year. Talking about Herm earlier, Mr. Don't send it. Don't send it. Come on now, think before you send it. They're at Cal, number 15 Cal, so they got a chance to get another.
That's a good game.
Yep, that'll be a good game tonight too, and that one starts at 9:30 here.
Yeah, that's great. I'll get home from the Rangers Yankees
game. You got football till midnight plus.
Oh man,
till one.
It's gonna be a great day.
That is great. So we got some good games tomorrow. Most of the top 25 pretty shiesty, as in they have pretty much another easy week. Speaking of which, there's usually a big game here, or what used to be a big game here in Dallas. Arkansas versus A&M. A&M is still ranked. They're 23rd this week after taking, the one loss. But Southwest Classic is what it's called. The old Southwest Classic. They play at Jerry's World. Gone to it almost every year.
Are you going?
Couple weeks. Nope, I'm not going this year.
Why?
I didn't get tickets. Didn't try to get any media passes. Just not into it. We suck. It's 11 a.m. game again, like it was last year. So you have to get up at well, not get up, but you have to leave here by 10. 10ish. At least.
It just doesn't feel right.
It just not fitting in for a foot. Then you get home, you're wore out the rest of the day. You're like, anyway.
Yeah, right.
I love this, the at least the mid-afternoon, or I obviously loved like a few years back, we were the 6 p.m. The 2016, we were the 6 p.m. kick. That one is awesome. Pretty much the nightcap. Not the nightcapper, but the main game on ESPN, 6 o'clock. Yeah. They have 2 on ESPN, ESPN
Well, by
2.
3 o'clock Saturday afternoon, you'll be saying to yourself, that was a good decision.
Oh, yes, I'm sure. I bet they get stunked out. But we'll see. We'll see. And speaking of which, we talked about Notre Dame. They didn't let up too much this week. Although at home, they take on number 18, Virginia. Which, by the way, I couldn't believe Virginia's 18th. I'm like, what? Where'd this come from?
That's not pushover. That's no pushover.
No, not at all. So, I mean, how you feeling about it is my point.
Indy will win that game.
I mean,
yeah, I think the players on, I think the students, the players for Notre Dame are like now. They've tasted blood. They're gonna.
Oh, and they even talked about which is funny. I brought this up right afterward last week. They're like the chances of Notre Dame still making it, which I knew they would. Saying, hey, in likelihood, who's got to kind of fall off? Which now you've got to have, you know what I mean. Now you've got to have teams lose.
Well, they certainly have the best loss in the nation.
And that's what was I telling you last week? I was like, hey, if they do lose though, it's not the baddest thing.
Yeah,
being
right.
that you've lost at number 3
they have
Georgia.
It's a good loss. And if they dominate the rest of the year, and look at all the top 10 teams right now that are going to have losses by the end of the year.
Oh yeah, certainly.
Just because of the schedules.
They play in each other.
Exactly right.
So got it. But like you said,
and then there's going to be the upsets.
Oh, they're at least 1 or 2 or 3 like always.
There's going to be upsets.
Yep. And the other matchup, this is the other one which will be on late for you. Another great one for Saturday night, or I think it's on Saturday night. No, actually, yeah, it's only 2:30, so it'll be a good. Well, that's the afternoon game. I was hoping to be the night one, but they wouldn't want to put this at night since they're both ranked. Number 21 USC at number 17 Washington. That's it though. Otherwise, there are no other top 25 matchups that play each other this week. They all pretty much have an easy slate. Ohio State at Nebraska, but Nebraska's in.
I've told you this before about USC. When USC stinks, they're dangerous. In other words, they have athletes.
Oh yeah.
USC.
Well, I guess them being 21st. I mean, kind of stinking for them. But
no, but I mean, even if they were considered to have it, I'm not saying they stink right now.
Yep.
I'm just saying that if the sports writers are going, USC is really horrible this year, I would never go into USC thinking that this is going to be an easy game.
Right.
They have athletes.
I remember we had there are multiple teams like that are just, you better watch LSU's.
LSU. I would never.
Because there's been a couple times where LSU's just kind of not great. They, like a few years ago when they only had like 8-9 wins or so.
Right.
The whole Les Miles situation and who we getting in.
Right.
They were still. You better watch out.
Yeah, of course. All right.
All right. Let's get on to the NFL where the big boys play, where you get paid.
Where you get paid. Yeah. The professionals.
Paid, right?
Yeah, right.
Where you actually graduate a school.
You're no longer a student.
You actually have a real job now.
It's a real job.
Good job. Wow.
Yay.
Now you get paid.
Yeah, now you get paid.
Yeah. Anyway, and a lot usually, if you make it. Or not. That's why you go to school.
And if
you get a good degree, guess what? You get a degree for free.
Yeah.
Now you can go use that and get a job.
Yeah. And if you don't perform well, you don't get paid well.
Yeah.
Welcome to the real world.
Welcome to life. Literally. All right, so week 3, Cowboys start off after a slow, because remember at halftime, it was kind of close.
Yeah.
Dash away in the second half, end up 31-6 over the Dolphins. And speaking of the Dolphins, they now have the worst start officially for sure in NFL history, now being outscored 133-16 after 3 games. So over 100 plus points. That's 20 points worse than the previous record holder, the 1950 Colts. 20 points worse. So that record, the point differential, what's that? 16 minus 33 is what? I'm the worst at math sometimes. So 13. So 17. That's obviously 17, right? 14. Yep, 17. Just making sure I'm doing the math right. So anyway, 117 point. I didn't write it down, so I was doing the math right there on the air.
You want me to get my calculator?
Yeah, right now. Anyway, 117 is the point differential. So 117. So the worst before that was 97 after 3 games. They're at 117. Yeah. Wow. And let's take it back even further. Going back to last year, the last game, where they lost by 25 plus points. That is 4 in a row now that they've lost by 25 plus points. The first team ever to lose such 4 games in a row by 25 plus points.
Can a professional team forfeit?
They really would love to. They would be like, hey, can we just get, because we just want the first pick. That's all we want, because that's where they're officially tanking.
Yeah, we're going to practice. We're going to practice the rest of the year. And
we'll work on next year already.
Yeah.
I mean, Indy surprisingly will get impact, but the Dolphins, stinkers. And I feel bad. My best friend Jaron, that's his team. So, and it's the Dolphins and the Hogs. I know. Look at that. It's so sour. It's like you just bit into a lime and a lemon at the same time. Like whoa, yeah. You kidding me? Those are his 2 teams.
And probably,
hell, mine are the Broncos, so it's just a smidge better.
Does he happen to like the Marlins in baseball too?
No, luckily not. Ooh. Yeah, right. Hey, at least there you get a ship every 6, 7, 10 years or something.
Right. Is that me or you?
That's you. But
let me turn that on.
Well, it could be plumbing.
It could be plumbing.
Indy surprisingly good this year. They beat the Falcons. I couldn't believe it, 27-24. So the Indy actually doing a lot better than I thought they would this year. I should say in the shootout, I couldn't wait for this matchup. But the KC versus the Ravens, it was 33-28. Mahomes pulls out ahead against Lamar Jackson. But he looks great.
He did, but Mahomes, man,
he's a stud. It's ridiculous. They put up 33 against the Ravens, who have a pretty stout defense as usual. So, I mean, you got to obviously Patriots over the Jets, 30-14. So the Patriots are just.
What'd you think of Rex Ryan this week, man? Saying that Baker Mayfield was way overrated.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, I'm right. I've said that from the get-go. I've said him last year, if we would have been doing the show, I didn't want the Broncos to take him whatsoever. Did not want the Broncos to take him last year. We ended up drafting, God, who did we draft last year? Didn't want him. But my point being, I did not want Baker Mayfield. I mean, I guess really what our quarterback situation, probably better than what we have now. Right? So I'd still like to have him.
I think Baker Mayfield's a good quarterback, man.
I think he's good. I think he's going to be.
He doesn't have to be great. Just be good.
I think he's going to be, true. You just have
be
to be
good.
Yeah. You've got players around you now.
Be good.
He'll have his great games. The 350, 3 touchdowns. He's going to be normally a 260, 3,
Right. Don't even be a Hall of Famer. Just be good.
So, another surprise last week, the Saints with Teddy Bridgewater backing in for Breeze. Oh, by the way, the highest paid backup quarterback in the league at $7 million. Can you believe that? Yeah, $7 million a year. And it's a crazy little story about him because last year, could have left. He got signed from them, didn't know what was going to happen with him, but stuck with him after last year. Like, you know what, you're going to pay me how much to be a backup to Breeze? I mean, you have Breeze. And I guess that's what's crazy. I guess they kind of were worried about Breeze and what would happen to him. And luckily they did, because now they've got probably the best, or one of the best, probably top 2 or 3 backups in the league, if not the best backup in the league. And one at Seattle last week. That's going to be huge for them. And they were talking about this week. I remember seeing that, where will Seattle be when Breeze gets back? I remember Ryan Clark used to play for the Steelers, and I was like, I agree with him. We'll be leading because everyone was supposed to have short answers, and he kept writing like it filled up. It was so funny. You're anyway. And his week will be leading the NFC South, and I'm like, I agree with it. The Falcons, they're looking not so good this year. The Panthers now with Cam out, it's looking not.
Is he out for the season?
I don't think. I think he's still with my man Barkley. Speaking of which, Saquon Barkley, who I took first overall in my draft, out for a few weeks and got a second opinion. They were about to put him on IR, but luckily, hopefully, he'll only be out for about 8 weeks. And I'm like, God. But Cam Newton, the same thing. So point being, I could see when Breeze gets back, the Saints will be in the lead of the NFC South.
Yeah.
You're not worried.
No.
You're still sticking with your Browns. Your Cowboys pick.
Yeah, I'm just laughing, man. I guess we've changed everything from it used to be the DL, now it's the IR.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Yeah. Injured reserve, man. Injured reserve.
Everybody's so sensitive.
I know. All right, but Dan Jones comes back for Manning, or he came in for Manning last week. Remember the guy for Daniel Jones, the guy who they drafted, like 6th overall, the Giants.
Right.
Comes in last week, so they're down 28-10 against the Bucs. Biggest comeback in Giants history.
Yeah, you think Eli's done?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I knew he was done already, unless Jones came out and just looked terrible for about 2 or 3 games. Like, okay, you're not ready yet, Manning. And that's probably what Manning was hoping for. Like, okay, let him do his thing. Let him come in. He probably won't be as good as they want. They're going to let me come in, maybe finish the season. I'll retire, or something. That's what I was thinking. He comes in.
It's got to be hard for an athlete to see that the sun is going down.
Yeah, so he's like 300 and anyway, but yeah, Jones threw for like 300-something yards, 2 or 3 touchdowns.
The sun is setting.
32-31. That was a great finish to that game. I don't know if you saw the end of that game.
I didn't see it, but
That
I
was
heard
a
about
great
it.
finish, yeah. But happy about your Cowboys, looking good so far. Week 4, let's get into it. Because this week, does it get any easier for them? What do you think? Do you know who they play this week?
They play, yes, I do, but I can't remember.
All right. Well, here's one thing I do want to.
Who do they play?
I'll tell you about it. Did you watch last night's game, the Eagles and the Packers?
That was a great game.
It was a pretty good game.
What happened to the guy at the end? He got hurt. What's the update on him?
I don't know. I hadn't looked into that.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgot though. But it was a great ending though. 34-27. The Packers were undefeated.
What you think of that call at the end, where they got picked off?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
really?
What you think it?
I should you're like an inch off the goal line.
Well, yeah.
Come on, right? You can't punch that in with a. I guess it's always easier to be the.
I know, armchair quarterback that we're being right now.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just like it goes back to the Seattle versus the Patriots, where you're like you hand it off to Lynch again.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just logical stuff. To me, I'm always a logical person, so I'm right there with you. I don't. Regardless, I'm not too happy with almost said Favre, because that's who he reminds me of. He's just as good to me. Aaron Rodgers has bloated up way too much. They give him too much credit. Anyway.
Yeah, talk about being overrated. Talk about Baker Mayfield. What the heck? Come
Aaron
on,
Rodgers to me is definitely overrated too, in my opinion. Definitely a great quarterback, great. He's mobile, but he's just overrated to me. He definitely doesn't come through his numbers, and I'm like, what I do love about him is his interception to touchdown ratio. It does a lot of touchdowns and not many interceptions if you look over his career.
Correct.
So definitely good, but I'm like, to me a little overrated. He's only been one Super Bowl. He hadn't really. When do you think of the Packers lately in the playoffs? You think they're going to make it, and they hardly ever make it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Anywho,
who do your Cowboys play? Well, it's a great Thursday, or such as it's a great Sunday
night game.
Football.
Yeah.
I just spoke of them. They had a great win at Seattle, and they're looking good even with a backup quarterback. Teddy Bridgewater and the Saints come, or I should say not come, you go to New Orleans.
Yes, right.
So that'll be a big Sunday night football game, because if y'all both win, or I should say if you both win, that'd be great.
Talk about a tough place to play.
If you lose, y'all are both 3-1.
Yeah.
So, a great start, though, for both the teams. Obviously, being 3-0 for the Cowboys, you couldn't ask for a better start. You get this win. Obviously, at the beginning of the year, this is where I'm sure everyone had pinned. Like, if we get past this and we're at 4-0 and we beat Breeze at New Orleans, but now Breeze is out, so I'm sure they're chomping at the bit going, I know it's Bridgewater. I know he's really good, but he's not Breeze.
Cowboys win that game.
Okay, all right. I think honestly it'll be a nail biter. The Cowboys pull out in the end, unless Bridgewater has 0 turnovers. If he has 0 turnovers and plays a great game, they win. Now, if he has 0 turnovers and has like 150 yards, you get my point. But if it's one of those 30 to 27, you have it. Watch out.
The Cowboys win because of their defense. They don't win because of their offense.
Oh, all right. We'll see. Let's get on to some more games. That's the one I'm looking forward to really the most this week. How about Melvin Gordon in a 64-day holdout? And the Chargers too, I love it. Now that he's in and back, like, okay, well, I forgot what it's called they put him on, but something where they get like a 2-week thing to kind of make sure he, like, so it's like, oh, that's cool, you're coming back. You ain't playing. We're going to see how you are for about a week or two, and then we'll see how you are. We're going to kind of look you over, but I was like, that's awesome. So finally ends his holdout. Maybe Denver gets his first win. We host Jacksonville this week, the Jaguars. Hey, but watch out for Gardner Minshew. Remember last week brought him up on last week's show because they played Thursday Night Football where they got the win. So let's see what old Gardner does when he comes into Mile High, plays Denver. So
yeah,
not the hardest of matchups, but
have they won?
No, we're O-list. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, so we're looking to get our first win against Jacksonville. And somebody has to get their first win on Monday Night Football. Boy, a terrible one this year for Monday Night Football. Most years this would be a slobber knock. You couldn't wait to see a hard-hitting game. Cincinnati at Pittsburgh. Both teams winless this year so far. Yeah. Now, teams that literally, and I was talking about, I wanted to bring up as well, other teams that are in the gutter. Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, the Finns, the Jets, the Redskins, the Cards are all winless. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams. 7 winless teams in the NFL. Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Denver, the Dolphins, the Jets, the Redskins, the Cards. All winless.
You don't want to be in that company, man.
Woo, there's a lot of terrible football being played right now in the NFL.
See, I'm telling you, man, this is kind of like the Charles Barkley saying, the NBA product is horrible. Right now the NFL, I'm just not.
It's down. It is definitely down.
It's down.
Down over about 5-10 years ago, and especially like the mid 2000s.
Yeah, it's
2005 to 10. It was
unlike what we just talked about with baseball. The baseball there are a lot of good.
It's more on the up. It's more on the up. They just need to fix that hitting and the strikeouts because that's pretty horrendous. But other than that, definitely getting there. Like you get me. But yeah, I mean football because there are actually the only good thing. Few surprise teams. Here's some undefeateds that you never would have thought. Bills, 49ers, Lions, all undefeated. If I would have told you 3 games in, those 3 teams undefeated, especially after last year.
Yeah, if you would throw the Browns in there, I would have been really stunned, right?
Well, yeah, but they've got your boy, so.
I know. But yeah, Lions.
Bills even?
And the Bills?
They've been terrible lately. 49ers even the last couple of years, even though they've kind of gotten new players, but finally, wow. So surprise, good teams there. We'll see how that turns out this week. And let's see just real quick. Who do they play? The Dolphins, can they get their first win against the Chargers? They're not looking so great. The Chiefs, they go. Oh, the
Dolphins Dolphins will go winless this year.
Yeah, they probably will. The Patriots and the Bills. Here's a good one. Both undefeated. Patriots at Bills. That'll be a good noon game.
That will be a good game.
Both 3-0. Another noon game that's both undefeated is the Lions and the Chargers, or Lions and the Chiefs.
Do you have your TV set up with multiple games? You get the NFL ticket where you have all your
man. Because you know what's so funny? Do not watch that much. As much as I say I think I do not watch that much of anything anymore. Saturday, I'll try. I try to get my moment on, but I don't have, because that's the reason why, and I know because I always try to get stuff done on the weekends. But my ultimate goal is, to have like multiple TVs, because I do have honestly a nice built-up TV repertoire now. But yeah, no, I don't have the ticket. I'd love to get it, or I'd love to even get the Red Zone, which is very popular. But no, I just kind of stick with one game. I'll watch my Broncos. I can pull that up on another, like the TV in my office that's above I can even get my computer going and have a game on each monitor if I want to. But
I'll tell you what, you know how I like to watch games anymore?
What?
I like to record them.
Yeah.
And then watch them where I can just speed through
There you
commercials.
go, commercials, yeah.
I save a lot of time.
Oh, yeah.
I get to watch the game. As long as somebody doesn't spill the beans, right?
Well, that's the worst. And you can't wait too long because something may happen. Especially if it's a big thing.
Right. When I do that,
game.
I don't check any text messages, because somebody will text and go, oh, and Notre Dame's losing by 36.
Right.
I'm going like, oh my gosh.
Right.
That kind of thing.
You're like, oh, thanks for spoiling that.
Yeah,
it's almost hard to look at your phone. You're like, I don't even want to look at it until I get to the...
Right.
But yeah, so it depends on, like I said, I'd love to have that ultimate dream set up, but it's not one of those things because I'm always kind of doing stuff, so we'll get there.
I know, because I just can't imagine spending the entire day just watching.
Oh yeah.
I just can't do that, man.
Couldn't do it. But if it was baseball. Now here's the cool thing if they did that.
Do that.
Yeah, if it was Major League Baseball, they did the playoffs where and here's where the only time I do it, March Madness. That's the only time I'll have trying to get multiple games going on at once. Because you have, at one time, you have TBS, TNT, True Network, and CBS all with the game on. So you have 4 different networks. That's when I'm in heaven and have multiple games. I am like, give it to me. Because you only get it for, it's, you know what I mean? So I'm like, dude, just overload.
Right.
Love it. And I literally, every March, that weather, you getting warm again now. I'm like, I got the beers ready. It's like 11 o'clock. I'm done stock trading. Because, I showed you the picture earlier this year. I'm trading. It's waiting for 11 o'clock. The game's about to come. First one. Oh, man, I'm loving it. All right. Fantasy football, though. Doc's just destroying me, killing me, not even giving me any luck whatsoever. And here's what's funny. So last week, I go ahead and put my boy Saquon in. You know what? I keep going back and forth. So what happens once again? This is why I don't like fantasy. I get done dirty once again. He gets injured. Only get 6 points last week. McCaffrey goes off for 26 points. If I would have left McCaffrey in, Saquon only gets 5.7 after he gets injured. McCaffrey gets 26. If I left McCaffrey in, I win. I took him out, I lose. That simple. You win 118 to 101. So there you go. There's the difference. And last week, and I left him in. I was like, I'm gonna keep rolling with him. Deshaun Watson. 31.84 points, and I can't get my point. Breeze is done for me, so it's either Deshaun Watson or Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers, I have just not been happy with him at all this year, obviously. You just get to leave Mahomes in. 33 points.
That's all I got to do.
And then, hey, the rest of you guys give me a little something. And here's where you got it from last week, and I told you to go with him during the draft. Got to, because it was like my Christian McCaffrey, and I would have gotten him if you didn't get him. But Alvin Kamara got you 32.6, almost as many points, 1 point less than Mahomes.
How about that, man?
Stud.
Yes.
You got 2 guys got you half your point, almost literally half your points. Did get you half. You got 118 points. 2 guys got you 66. There you go.
Oh my gosh.
So I've had that years, like I said, when we're manning, he'd because in some leagues, especially manning those years where you'd get 50 points and you get 500 yards and 7 touchdowns. You'd look down, he's like 56 points. I'm like, oh my god. So yeah, but racking it up last week. Once again, let's get to this week now, week 4. See what we can do right now as it's set, because I have Christian McCaffrey, and you did get 10 last night, so, and that's about what he was supposed to get. Zach Ertz got you 10.
Yeah,
he was supposed to get you 10. That's all. I told you, Ertz was a good one to get. Anyway, scheduled this week, you're scheduled for 109.94. I'm scheduled for 108.6. So we got another close one on hand. And last night, finally, Rodgers, the first game, because last week against Denver, he did only put up 15 points. I'm glad I left him on the bench. This week, finally, goes off for 30. His first 20-plus point game. He hadn't had anything over 20 this week.
Right.
So, and Adams, I've left him on the bench. The wide receiver finally blew up, obviously, because Rodgers blew up. Adams left him on the bench. He had 23 points last night. But yeah, regardless, we're ready for this week's matchup. Looks like another good one. We're only 1 point, literally, as usual, each week in differential. So, I think we've got our lineup set now, especially since I have Breeze and Saquon, 2 of my guys. I think my first 2 picks, Breeze, they were. I think I may have taken Rodgers first. But you get my point. Pretty much 2 of my top 2 3, 4 picks were gone. They're out for half the season now.
Gone.
Good. Yeah, let's get to it. Mount Rushmore of wide receivers.
Yes.
We've got to finish out the mount. Even though we're going to get to the centers and guards one day, maybe the tackles and fullbacks. but certainly the wide receivers. And this one, of all the others, this one has a true GOAT. This one has a true GOAT. The other one, maybe you could call this one has a GOAT. A far and away, blow them away GOAT. There's no, to me, there's no argument.
Correct.
I mean, you point me if you did a quarterback thing, it'd be split 20 about all these.
You're thinking Jerry, right?
Yeah. Well, Jerry, yes, you got to go Jerry Rice. We already know that. But point being, running backs, you go Brown, Sanders.
You can get in an argument.
Quarterbacks, you go Montana, Brady. Oh no, I like go a couple more old schoolers.
But this one's hard to argue with.
You can't, especially when you look at the numbers.
Correct.
His receiving yards alone are the most all-purpose yard. They're it, and they're just receiving yards.
Right.
I think he's at 23,000.
Yeah, he's off.
The next closest is like 16.
Yeah, he's off the charts.
Literally, it's like he played video. It's like he was playing Madden. Okay, boom, boom. Okay, 123 yards, 2 touchdowns. Okay, boom, boom, 80 yards, 1 touchdown. Okay, 140 and no touchdown. I'm like, dude, that's like literally Madden numbers.
He was ridiculous.
I mean,
and then you teamed him up with Joe Montana. Man, it was just
pretty much 16,000 receptions, 23,000 yards, 197 touchdowns. Those are like, I played Madden with this dude for forever and just racked up. Even when he went to the Raiders. And you blew up for them, took him to the Super, not took him and Rich Gannon. Right. Had another 1,000+ yard, 10 touchdowns. Are you kidding me? Dude was like 50 then. Not 50, but it's probably 40 or pushing it.
Yeah.
Anyway, and he's not throwing the ball like Tom Brady. He's out there running around getting hit every time.
Right.
Anyway.
Right.
So anyway, let's get into some that are right there on the cusp to me. Not the close calls, but the ones, because this has an extensive list. You can do, not Mount Rushmore. I mean, I guess you could have multiple, because to me, there's only maybe 2 you can make. But you could really make an argument for 2 or 3, really, because you got Lynn Swann, Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne. Man, talk about that. Peyton Manning had Marvin Harrison and Reggie Wayne for like 10 years. And they're definitely, in the list. They're top 25 ever.
Right.
Isaac Bruce, Andre Reed, Irvin, Biletnikoff, James Lofton, Art Monk, Calvin Johnson, T.O. I mean, those are some studs.
Yeah, and Terrell Owens arguably could have, if he would have just played his cards correctly, could have possibly been the greatest receiver of all time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he ever, just because of his attitude.
That's what I'm saying.
But he never passes 23. He ended up, I mean, he could have played maybe a couple. He never ends up with 23,000 yards.
No, but he
or 1,600 receptions.
He was a phenomenal talent.
Yes, he would have been for sure number 2. To me, Rice, there's no question, Rice was always going to be number 1. I mean, just his numbers alone, 1,600 and 23,200 touchdowns. Terrell Owens keeps playing. He probably gets the 18,000 maybe, and maybe that 200 touchdown mark, maybe, but never close to 1,600 receptions. Maybe 1,200, 1,300. But that's my point. I mean, that's why I'm like, he'd be number 2 probably. It'd be his size, his speed, strong. Like he's just strong. His hands were great. You get my point, but. Yeah, you don't play your cards right.
One of my favorite of all time growing up, I love to watch Lynn Swann play, man. One of the first
athletic ones that you remember making those athletic crazy that we see a lot now. But back then, when you saw him making those catches like against your Cowboys,
I'll go back
the Super Bowl.
I'll go back before that against the Irish. Lynn Swann is a USC product.
Yeah,
and I used to watch
definitely a stud.
The Notre Dame
stud Trojan.
Oh my gosh. And Pat Hayden was the quarterback. Lynn Swann was the receiver, playing Notre Dame for those 4 years. Lynn Swann was like off the charts, right? Then he goes to the Steelers. I thought Lynn Swann was a phenomenal talent.
Any other old names you want to read? Here are close calls. We'll bring these up that were literally right on the cusp. Steve Largent, Don Hudson.
Steve Largent's great.
Don Hudson, he was old school. I never really remember. I remember the name kind of, but I guess he was the first big guy that was like, did a lot.
My favorite.
Tim Brown, though, and Chris Carter were 2 others.
Tim Brown's fantastic.
I love Mr. Raider. Love Tim Brown. He like playing the Broncos all those years. That's just classic ingrained memory. Playing him every year. Chris Carter too. I mean, that dude was a touchdown catching machine.
Yeah, he was
Mr.
ridiculous.
Touchdown, whatever they call him. Yeah, he was great.
I love Fred Biletnikoff.
Biletnikoff too. I mean, Chris Carter, 14,000, almost 14, but 1,100 receptions, almost 14,000 yards, 130 touchdowns. I mean, what was Tim Brown? His numbers were ridiculous too. Irvin 750, 1,200, almost 6, but he only had 65 touchdowns, which is crazy. He didn't have that many touchdowns. There's Tim Brown, almost 1094, so 1,100 receptions, 15,000 yards, 100 touchdowns. So I mean, you're talking about putting numbers up. And a lot of these guys did. I mean, a lot of those guys right there. Andre Reed, 13,000 receiving yard, 87 touchdown, 950. catches. Marvin Harrison, 14,000, 1,100 receptions, 128 touchdowns. So,
Right.
I mean, we're talking about guys putting up numbers. I mean, Charlie Joyner, here's another guy I don't really remember too much of. Probably catching passes from who's the big beard? Kid Dan Fouts for the Chargers for a few years, it looks like. He played for the Chargers from 76 to 86. 750 receptions, 12,000 yards, 65 touchdowns. So it's crazy. It says when he retired in 86, he was a career leader in receptions and receiving yards.
Wow.
Yeah. So let's get to it. And the close calls, Tim Brown, Chris Carter were the two that almost made my list. So who do you got, Doc?
Jerry Rice.
That's done. We know that. Yep. Mr. Rice.
I'm throwing Randy Moss in there.
Yep, that's my number 2. Yep.
Is it really?
Yeah, we'll get to it. Yeah. All right.
Jerry Rice, Randy Moss.
And real quick, just Randy Moss. 982 receptions, but 15,000 receptions, 15,000 receiving yards, 156 touchdowns. And here's the thing: what I looked at a lot of that, he only played 218 games versus Terrell Owens. Terrell Owens had about the same, literally 219 games. They have literally very similar: 15,900 to 15,200, 1,000 receptions is 908. You get my point. 153 touchdowns, 156.
Yeah.
I just think Moss was a little bit more freaky-ish.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to go with Owens.
2? So let's just say 3. I should say
3, and I'm going to go with Steve Largent.
Oh, another one I forgot to. Oh, I didn't say Calvin Johnson. I had to mention him in the other good ones though. And your own Largent.
I'm throwing Largent in there.
Yeah, and let's look at Largent's numbers real quick because he had pretty good numbers.
Largent was off the charts, man. He was a phenomenal talent.
They have him at number 2 on this list. 200. He played 200 games. So what were we just at with the other ones? Here's what's crazy. That's right. 219. That's what I thought. They were about the same. So he only played 200, 819 receptions, 13,000 yards, 100 touchdowns. I mean, especially for the Seahawks. Right?
I mean, right?
Who's throwing him the ball? Warren Moon wasn't even around for the Oilers then yet. Or
Yeah.
for Seattle. Well, he played, I should say, for the Seattle Seahawks. He played for the Seattle Seahawks. That was the only quarterback I remember. They had maybe a couple, but nothing phenomenal.
Right.
Because Moon played for the Oilers for all his, he closes like a lot of his. I remember him playing for the Seahawks for the last 2 or 3, 4, 5 years.
Yeah.
Moon for whatever reason. That in the 90s. Nobody even yeah. That's so we got Rice, Moss, T.O., Largent. All right, I like it. Rice and Moss, boom, 1 and 2 right there for me too. Placked them right on up. But I'm going with, and I've got to, because when I broke it down, 8.
You're going with Larry Fitzgerald, aren't you?
Well, that's number 4 for me. But right above him at number 3, surprise pick, but not so surprising, Lance Allworth.
Oh, okay.
Hog product. And here's what's so crazy. Boy, they make him good down south, don't they? You know where Lance Allworth, or I should say Steve Largent went to school? Tulsa.
No kidding.
Yeah. So you have Tulsa and Arkansas
Wow.
as your
Didn't know that.
colleges,
Yeah,
2 of your best.
did not know
And the
that.
white boys getting out
Did
there
not
and
know
catching
that.
it. So, anyway, let's get back to the rest of the list, if I can already. Jiminy Christmas. All right. So here's why I went Lance Allworth. He only played in 137. We're talking guys like 200 plus games. They're starting to go, like T.O., both at 220. Largent had 200. 137 games.
Wow.
He racked up 10,000 yards and 85 touchdowns.
Wow.
So imagine if he got to play 70 more, 80 more games.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
And that's what he showed offensive coordinators. I mean, he played for the Chargers right before what's-his-face got there, Fouts. I mean, he played in the 60, and he closed out, didn't know if you knew this, he closed out with the Cowboys.
I did not know that.
Yep. Chargers for 62 to 70, and then the Cowboys from 71 to 72.
Wow.
Yep. So I have Lance in there being that he was a hog product, but yeah, that and you play that short amount of time. Like the old schoolers. I mean, a lot of them only played the Jim Browns of the world, only played like 10 years, 8 years, but they racked up some.
Now, I'm surprised you didn't mention Michael Irvin.
Irvin. I didn't mention Michael Irvin in the Swan.
Irvin.
Yeah, Irvin. I put him in there with the Isaac Bruce, Andre Reed,
Okay.
Michael Irvin, Bolitnikoff, James Lofton, Art Monk, Calvin Johnson, T. I'll put him in that group.
Okay.
3rd tier down. He's tier 3 for me. Tier 2.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Tier 2
I'd
to
agree
me
with
is like
that.
the Steve Largent, Don Hudson, maybe because he's one of the OGs, but definitely Tim Brown, Chris Carter, like you said, the Steve Largent, T.O. You could probably maybe put T.O.
Yeah, right.
in that obviously
Right.
definitely in that second group. And then my point being, I went Rice, Moss. That's funny. Rice, Moss. You're like,
Rice,
"Wait, what are
Moss.
you talking about here? You talking about plants? You talking about went with Jerry Rice, Randy Moss, Lance Allworth, and yes, closed out with Larry Fitzgerald. He was one of my favorites ever, and if you just look at his numbers,
He was the one that I teeter-tottered with. I mean, he's a
yeah, I mean, he's got some great 13,000
Right.
receptions, 1,600 receiving yards, 116 touchdowns, youngest ever to get to 1,000 catches in a career.
Yeah.
So you can't. You got a lot of those 8 guys right about there: Rice, Moss, Allworth. I mean, you can put the all off, but definitely Rice, Moss, Fitzgerald, Largent, Brown, Carter,
Yeah,
T.O.
I definitely think Rice and Moss 1 and 2 is a pretty safe bet.
Yeah, but Rice once again though far and away. You look
No-
at the
no doubt.
I mean, you kidding me? I mean, 23,000 receiving yards.
Yeah.
That's not even. That's his all-purpose yards is off through the roof. It's
And
the most ever.
even with Randy Moss and like T.O., man, if they would have just sometimes with great talent, you just see it today in athletics, especially. They're just their ego and their attitude and their lifestyle just gets in the way of them being
even greater than they can be.
That's correct.
And
where Jerry Rice just played the game.
And look how it wasn't even like he wasn't even that fast either. Ran like a 4 whatever. I mean, he got fast on the field for sure and was quick on the field. But
Jerry Rice like Mike Trout. Mike Trout just keeps his mouth shut and goes to the ballpark and puts up numbers.
Because hey, watch me get 23,000 receiving yards, 16,000 receptions.
Right. I mean, you would think some of these younger guys coming up would learn lessons like, look, man, just play the game and keep your mouth shut.
And what's nuts, like that was in he played most of his career in the 80s and the 90s where the game was a lot different than it is now, where getting 40, 50 touchdowns is on the reg.
Right.
So imagine him in that offense now and the numbers he could have put up.
That's correct.
Yeah, and they can't. Back then, they were shoving receiver. Imagine now where they're like, you can't even touch Jerry Rice. You couldn't really touch him back then because he was so good at his route running.
But
imagine now.
Oh, my God.
They'd be turning around, they'd be like, where'd he go? He had 40,000 receivers. I mean, not 40. He probably would have gotten like 27, 28. If you putting him in a new era, he would have gotten that many more, 200-plus touchdowns, 1,800 receptions we're probably talking about here. I mean...
He most definitely would. His numbers would be even that much...
It'd be gaudy.
That's right.
All right. Had some fun with the Mount Rushmores. We'll get into a new fun topic next week. But first, let's get into this. Next week brings October, brings baseball. We'll get back to the Mount Rushmores. But fun hunt, I love the Mount Rushmores. They're great to do.
Yes.
The Stutter Dud, the coveted Stutter Dud segment. I meant to bring this up last week, had a couple things going on, so put it back to this week. How to bring them up again, being it's music related. We brought him up earlier this year. Cody Lee wins America's Got Talent. I mean, you kind of saw it probably coming when I first brought him up. You're like, this dude's going to be in the finals. He probably will win it, but I guarantee he's going to be a finalist with that talent and the story.
Right.
Good, though, for him. Blind, autistic. Wow. Are you kidding me?
Fantastic.
Never will ever be able to sing or play the piano. Well, maybe play the piano. Well, you never know. I need to get in here a little more often. I know you're going to give me that. But regardless, even if I tried, and I did, like anyone should, give it every day for 5-10 years, I don't even know if I'd get that good.
Yeah, he's very blessed.
Very blessed. So just great to see that. Great story. Hope we see more. I wish we'd see more stories like that and less of the negative.
Correct.
That all comes kind of back to us people as a human society. If
Correct.
Be a little smarter and use the brain.
Correct.
We'd see a lot more cool stories instead of a kid getting and driving 11 anyway. All the crazy stuff we see. Like, what? Huh?
Right.
All right. But yes, had to bring up Cody Lee.
I think it's awesome.
Hats off to you, brother. On next week's show, we head into October. I just kind of teased it. As the MLB playoffs will be set in stone, of course. So I figured it'd be cool to kind of get a little October topic, MLB topic related to keep it rolling in.
I'm going to reach out to Steve and see. You don't have anybody lined up for next week?
Next week's wide open, baby.
I'm
going
to reach out to Steve and see.
We'll kick off the month with our Dream Home Run Derby.
Ooh.
I've meant to kind of another thing I want to do back around the Home Run Derby to talk about when we missed that week because of July 4th. Anyway, if you could pick 2 all-time from the AL versus 2 all-time from the NL,
Ooh.
Who ends up taking home the crown? Now that's a pretty cool one. I thought that'd be kind of fun to do.
Okay.
All right.
I have to give that some thought, man.
I know, right? All right. We'll recap and preview college football, NFL, and fantasy football as usual. All that and much more. Try to get Steve on.
I'll reach out.
And if so, then say, hey, we're doing the pretty much our fantasy dream home run derby. 2 from each side all time. Who you got? Who's taking it home? I mean, you got Big Hurt.
I'll text him this afternoon.
Oh, man, my favorites were, back in the 90s. Big Hurt, McGuire, Griffey, Sosa. I mean, of course, 2 of the guys nice and natural. You can tell one of them's natural. Big Hurt. You know he's natural. I love Big Hurt. But 2 of them, maybe not so much. What's funny, I didn't think about that. That's 2 from the AL versus 2 from the NL. Big Hurt and Griffey, White Sox and the Mariners versus the Cubs versus the... Yeah. That's a good one. I just thought about that. Gosh. That's a good one. I might even do that one.
All right.
Well, I mean, that'd be my one from the 90s for sure. We could do 1 per decade even, you could break it down if you had your, because there's, home run hitters all the way back to the 50s.
I'm going to have to do a little research, man. I got to do a little research.
Yep. So you just, maybe, it'd just take forever if we did 4 and 4. So I just figured we did 2 from each side.
I like it.
You got to narrow it down. We can't be, beggars can't be choosers here. Like, I almost did a Mount Rushmore. I'm like, we're doing Mount Rushmore. How can we kind of flip this up instead of a Mount Rushmore of home run hitters?
Right.
How about we do our dream home run derby, which just me, you, and Steve in the crowd eating popcorn, hot dog, and some soda, watching these four, or whoever our four are each.
Right. Well, I'm going to be doing a little bit of that this afternoon, my friend.
Oh, dude, enjoy this afternoon. It's cooled down a little bit. It'll still be warm.
Yeah.
But
by this evening,
like you said, fall's coming.
By this evening, it should be a nice evening out
next
at the ballpark.
Thursday. The high, I remember seeing like mid 80s, lower 80s, like we're talking about. Man, it's coming.
It's coming.
Fall's coming. It's here, fall, but October is that's when fall arrives for me. Because I mean, especially in the South, I mean, it gets 90 until what I mean.
It's got to cool off.
The State Fair starts tonight as well.
Oh,
right
no
now,
kidding.
not today. State Fair starts today.
I did not realize
State
that.
Fair starts today, goes through October 20th. I'll be heading out there for sure, most likely on a Wednesday. Cheapest day to get in. Canned food day, baby. Bring 4 canned foods. You get in for $4 or something like that.
Okay.
Love it.
I knew you'd take advantage of that.
No, you got to. It's like $20 to go to the family.
I know.
It's crazy.
It's ridiculous.
Then you spend like 40 or 50 on food when you get there. It's
I know.
crazy.
I know.
Remember last year, one of the last years where I didn't really kind of take advantage of stuff. We dropped close to $100. I was like, $100? We could have went out to steak. Soon we got some good food somewhere. We went to the fair. We had fair food for. Wow, the fair's making some money. All right. Don't forget to subscribe to us on iTunes, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, Spotify to hear all the episodes. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and the beautiful studdud.com. Oh, by the way, new kicks on this week. Keeping up. They're older. These, by the way, and these don't smell. We kind of brought this up beforehand. Wearing the traditional. Those look like are those newer? Somewhat. You probably got them this year. Those almost look like some UALR Trojan, that maroon color.
Yeah, it does look a little Trojan-like.
I like that right there, baby. Okay. But these are older. I wouldn't make you smell these, but those. Even these
I'm not going to smell them even if they're
2012 or 13. 2012 or 13. Look at them, baby. Still keep them rocking. I love it. Thank you all for listening. Until next time, I'm Josh Smith.
Bob Lawrence.
Peace.